Hi, this is part 6 of video series How to Teach Your Child to Read and Write. By the end of this video series, you will know all the resources needed and have a plan of action. If you haven't watched the previous parts, this is how the videos are laid out, and part 4 is one video that you do not want to miss because we talk about the actual process. The first 31 days, what you want to do in the first 31 days is covered in part 4. We want to make sure that our children are practicing to write in the right way. If they are holding the pencil or writing in an awkward way, that's going to interfere with their speed and it's going to cause some discomfort or pain, or it's just hard to change it later. There are two things that I wanted to focus on: the tripod hold and wrist extension. These are two things that I started focusing on when my child turned 4. Not before that. I don't think it's necessary to put restrictions on how to hold a pencil before. As soon as my child turned 4, I started looking into tripod hold and the wrist extension. In short, you can teach tripod hold like this. You nip and you flip. Don't bother about the third finger. That will automatically come in place to support after some time. But these are the two precision fingers that you want to focus on and make sure that it's strong. Some activities that focus on precision fingers are stringing beads, using scissors, Play-Doh, punching holes, placing coins in coin slots, buttoning, unbuttoning, zipping, and unzipping. Next is wrist extension. You want to make sure that your child is writing like this and not like this. So the next exercise that we're going to focus is wrist extension. To practice wrist extension, have your child lay flat on his tummy and use his forearm to bear the weight of his body and color. So with the forearm bearing the weight of his body, he is forced to use this motion and not this flexed position. Elaborate more on this. I found this amazing person called Dana. She's an occupational therapist. She has a YouTube channel. I highly recommend that you watch her videos on wrist extension and tripod hold. She's awesome. She has other videos too, I recommend. But these are two videos that I watched with my son. He was arguing with me. My 6-year-old was arguing with me that holding it like this is more comfortable than this. And I watched that video with him. And when an expert explains that that's going to cause problem later or discomforts and pain, we can't argue with that. So my child changed that behavior after watching that video with me. So I'll link the videos below in the description box. Watch them with your children if you want to build upon those tripod hold and wrist extension. Show you what else we did to work on those ergonomic habits and to emphasize on the motor skills. My son is obsessed with animals. He's an animal lover. He wants to save animals when he becomes an adult. Once I flicked a fly in front of him, he got upset and he said, "Don't hurt nature." I can ask him to go away, and he said, "Come on, sweetie, let's go outside. It's nice outside." And he chased the fly away. Kids are amazing. You can learn a lot from them. But anyways, back to the topic. He learns about an animal. He will ask me to draw, and he will then color it, and then he cuts it and he pastes in this me book. So now he knows this animal. He has done some activity around it, and he has been he has been learning a lot of animals, and he has been saving them here in this me book. This is his me book, and he takes it to school and he talks about his work to everybody. So his teachers tell me that he's so proud of this book. 1, he's learning about these animals, the things that he loves. 2, he's doing some activity around it, and he's keeping them organized. Also, Remember, he's working on the motor skills by cutting, drawing, coloring. He's doing all that stuff. So this is one thing that you can emphasize on with your child. Anything that she likes, you can emphasize on drawing, coloring, and keeping them organized in a book. And have your child take it to her friends and post. But before he could cut using scissors, he was punching. I'll show you how that works. I have a punching pad and a push pin. I'll show you how that exactly works in a second. But start with the punching pad if your child is not comfortable with scissors, and then move on to scissors. Have him or her cut the picture and stick it in a book and save the pictures. I'm so excited about this Me book because I feel that this is a precursor for journaling. Basically, think about it. Journaling, you sit in a quiet place, focus on something that you have in your head, and you just write down. You organize the way you wanted it to. You don't think about anybody, just whatever. You can draw, you can write, you can put numbers, you do whatever you want, and that's your journal, right? The same thing goes here. My child likes an animal, he wants to draw, he doesn't care about how what others think or how exactly that animal should look like. He just draws, or he asks me to draw. Before he used to ask me to draw, now he can draw by himself. Most of the animals, when he can't, he will ask. So he basically draws whatever gets in his head, and then sometimes he can also put some words in there. One time he drew something about Minecraft, and he actually wrote Minecraft. M-I-N-C-R-A-T, something like that. So he can write words like that, and he's organizing them in this book. So it feels like he's starting to journal. My 7-year-old journals, and that's something that the Montessori school taught them. He journals regularly, and I think that's an important skill that children should develop from the beginning, and I want to get this 4-year-old there, and this is a precursor. So you're building your motor skills, you're working on your creativity and imagination, and you are stepping into the journaling process. So I love the concept of having a Me book and organizing all that comes in the child's thought. I don't want to make this video any longer. We talked about Me book, journaling, motor skills, tripod hold, wrist extension. We covered a lot in this video. Before we end, let's talk about that punching hole activity if your child is not ready for scissors. Punching hole activity basically needs some felt sheets, large push pins, and clipboard. Keep these sheets stored in a box like this. When your child is ready, she can take it out, clip it in a clipboard like this, and place the picture she wants to cut and start punching holes all around. So close, you want to punch so close that she can eventually take the picture out. You'd have to sit with the child patiently the first few times and eventually get her to work on it by herself. Sit with her for the whole process of punching and cutting and pasting in the Me book. Once she is ready to use the scissors, you don't have to do the punching activity, but punching holes is so great for your these fingers, the motor skills. Work on those if your child is not ready for scissors. Once she's ready for scissors, use the scissors, draw, color, cut, and paste it. As usual, I'm glad for having shared my process with you. If you have a different process, if you have comments, anything, write to me. I would love to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.